Chapter 4 Monday, March 16th, 1:55 p.m. Washington, D.C. Detective Jocelyn Larson inhaled a quick dose of nicotine vapor before she walked into the department's forensics building. She loved that the vapor had almost no smell and didn't ruin her breath or her clothes. The joy of smoking, without the disgusting part or the guilt. At her age and with her body type, she was tired of taking crap for her bad habit. At the security counter, she showed her badge. "I'm here for the John Doe autopsy." The woman behind the safety glass barely glanced at the ID. "Lucky you." They'd had this exchange a few times. Jocelyn was a career detective, all of it spent in D.C., and had attended more autopsies in this building than was healthy for the soul. The desk clerk pressed the button. The door to the left buzzed, and Jocelyn headed past the crime lab to the morgue. In the small front room, she pulled on a gown, hairnet, and booties, grateful she didn't have to wear the gear at crime scenes, because technicians collected and processed the evidence. Inside the autopsy center, stainless steel and constant disinfecting didn't mask the slight stench of decay that hung in the air. An assistant medical examiner looked up from her microscope. "If you're ready, we'll get started." The Emmy had a fresh young face, but the rest of her body was covered in puffy blue scrubs. Jocelyn stepped toward the table. The John Doe who'd been shot and robbed in the Bellevue area lay on the shiny steel table, already uncovered. Why did she always get the bodies with no ID and no fingerprint match in the database? The Emmy pulled her tray of sharp instruments next to the table and turned on a bright overhead light. None of the autopsy would bother Jocelyn, except the Y cut into the chest with the saw. But that was later, and she would be a little numb by then. The 20-minute inch-by-inch search of his skin was uneventful, except for the Emmy's comment about his hands. "He appears to have some damage to the tips of his fingers, possibly from chemical burns, but it's not recent." She looked up at Jocelyn. "I'll know more after I send the tissue sample to the lab for analysis." Jocelyn tuned out for a moment, wondering what else she could do to identify this guy, short of running a dead-face photo in the newspaper. "This is interesting." The medical examiner's voice held surprise and excitement as she lifted something tiny with a pair of long-handled tweezers. "What is it?" "Some kind of microchip. And I found it under his tongue." What the hell? Her investigation hadn't turned up any witnesses, but based on the location, she'd assumed some gangbanger had killed the man for his cell phone and wallet. The microchip made her rethink that. Clearly, the victim had hidden the chip from his assailant. What was on this bit of silicon that made someone kill him for it?